Well, tonight, not only will you get a chance to see Charlie Woods in action, you'll also get a chance to see his caddy play a big role. He's a guy you might know, of course, Tiger Woods manning the bag for his son. And within the broadcast, you will also hear an exclusive interview with the father and son duo. Here is a preview.
Well, it's hard to describe because it's so amazing to be able to be with Charlie out there and fight through it together and do it as a team. It was incredible. Just the fact that he earned his way into the event by shooting his lowest round he's ever shot. So he earned his way in here, and then to go out there and play the way he did. Obviously, lots of lessons learned, but I think the big picture is he thoroughly enjoyed it. It was a lot of fun for both of us.
Tiger as a caddy, I can only imagine what Joe LaCava must be thinking. Well, when a kid grows up watching his or her parent do something hardly surprising, to see them kind of want to follow in mom or dad's footsteps. My son is actually a sportscaster, but you know what? It's not easy. Case in point, how about this? Gary Nicklaus. He embarked on a professional golf career, and before he barely got started, ended up on the cover of Sports Illustrated. That is pressure. Jaime, I know we were talking about this earlier. Jack wasn't happy about that, was he?
He was not happy. No, he felt like it was extra pressure on Gary that wasn't needed at that time. The headline was the next Nicklaus. That carried its own burden. And of course, as we're going to find, the history of tour players having successful sons following their footsteps, exactly in those footsteps, is very rare. And it's just it's a difficult dynamic. Obviously the hunger of the father gets hard to be replicated for the son, especially if that's a comfortable lifestyle and the father's been very, wealthy and those kind of things. So there's a lot of X factors. But in the case of Charlie, there's no question he has great talent. But really, I think the experience right now and the emphasis is just for Tiger and Charlie to share that and reprise what Earl had with Tiger. And Tiger's really enjoying it, and I really feel like keeping the pressure off and making it fun is the emphasis right now. Charlie's really good, and he's going to play tournament golf, but, that journey is still unknown in terms of whether he really has the components that create, successful winner. That's something that you just don't know until somebody gets thrown in the fire. So for the moment, he's in a perfect learning environment. He's getting all this wisdom from Tiger and from Justin Thomas, and he clearly likes the chemistry of playing and competing and needling and all the things that come with just, brotherhood and obviously fatherhood and being there with your dad when you play golf. It's one of the best experiences of your life. Well,
Tiger has been very, very cautious about allowing Charlie to, be publicly exposed to a lot of things that come along with it. Tripp, it's a hard game. But to play with your parents, somebody you love, it's also truly special. I mean, one of the things that we noticed about Tiger is I don't think I have ever seen him happier or certainly more proud.
Oh, no question. That's the thing, and I think Tiger will balance this. I mean, there were many that said that Earl pushed Tiger a little too much, and there was, times where they had friction. I think Tiger will avoid any of that because he knows when Earl pushed too hard, what it might have done to Tiger. I think he'll find the right balance of letting Charlie be himself. And you can kind of see it at the father-son or at the parent-child, the PNC that we're going to see next week. It's one of those things that it's such a unique event. And I can just tell you, my father got me into the game. He loved the game. He was a very talented golfer, a scratch golfer for most of his life. And he and I, the moments that we shared, we won a 4-ball tournament in our local area a couple of times, played in a state father-son. Those moments, regardless of whether the son follows in the dad's footsteps or not, and becomes a very successful golfer on tour, it's very, very rare. I mean, the Jay Haas's and the Bill Haas's, they're very rare, but there's a reason for that. And the most important thing is that the kid and the father just enjoy playing this great game, and it's a great game for a lifetime. And it really, really is special to see how important it is for these players, especially Tiger and Charlie. And I think they're going to do quite well next week, by the way.
You know, I have worked on that father-son or the parent-child championship a number of times, and one of the most special parts about it is how you see a different side of some of the most intense competitors and the pride. And one of the things that Jaime mentioned, and it's true, if you haven't seen Charlie Woods play in a year, he's gotten an awful lot better, he's gotten an awful lot bigger, and he can really swing the golf club.